Hey guys, welcome back to the campaign. We're currently in a swamp, and we just got a side quest from a chaos goblin who looked to be possessed by some sort of magic to go see if we can find anything that's left of this tribe of goblins. There's been a great reward offered if we can find the goblins and return them. I mean, not only gold, but an epic magic item. You know, it might play a part in our quest. I don't know if everyone would take the word of this goblin or not, but it's not too far away. And I think everyone is willing to do it because, look, we'll wipe these goblins out. If we get back and there's no item, everybody's done for. And I think that would be their mindset. If the goblin does live up to his word, maybe we could make a pact with these goblins, or at a very minimal, get paid, you know, some gold and this epic item. So we're gonna head out, see if we can find this cult and recover any living goblins from this tribe. Since we're in the forest, we're gonna be using the Crucible of Classic Critters. This is a Woodlands adventure book. One pretty cool thing about this, in this book, the vermin count toward your minions, which give you XP. So the vermin are a bit tougher. And you can harvest monsters. That's pretty awesome. Monster parts, like in my regular D&D games, I allow players to do that. Harvest certain parts of the monsters and sell it for gold or use it for other things. And then one thing I forgot to write on this list is there's a chance that we can get a mount in this forest. I think that's gonna be pretty cool. I'm just gonna let the dice roll and maybe we'll get one. As I said, I was gonna print hex on here. That looks so much better. We're currently in this hex right here, and we need to discover which one has the forest where we're headed. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, that will be this one right here. We're headed south to the forest. So instead of dungeon rooms or tiles, we have forested ones, which are gonna be a pain in the butt to draw into the book. One thing I wanna say is some of these are dead end, like for example, this one right here. If I roll one of those, that's where the boss is gonna be. I'm not gonna make this a super long quest like I'm instructed to. If we look over here, the dungeon is very large and it's 28 by 36. That's kind of just too long for what we're doing here. So if I get a dead end in the book, then that will be the last room. White dice is high. That's a 62. We have something that looks like this. It doesn't look like we'll be able to get to this upper part right here, but one thing I read in the book, there's just so much cool stuff in here, is if we had an axe with us, we could actually chop through and get over to that part. We don't have an axe though. So we're basically gonna make it like this upper part's not accessible anyways, but we're just heading through the forest and we're gonna treat this as a corridor. All right, let's see what's going on in here. Whoa, we got a 12. War party. If it's a corridor, roll on the Woodlands boss table. If it's a room, you encounter a boss with some minions. Okay, I guess we kind of lucked out there considering it's a corridor. We roll a d6 for the boss table, get a 5. Holy crap. As we make our way down the forest trail, we encounter a being that looks like a tiger dressed in expensive clothing. Its body looks mostly human aside from its luxurious tiger fur.
My, such rude guests. Not even a greeting before drawing steel. I was mid-chapter, you know. Very well.
Well, if you're looking for a fight, this is the guy that'll give you a fight. Level 7, 6 life, 3 attacks. He's got a bunch of treasure. So this is a Rakshasa. He gets to roll a 6-sided dice at the start of his turn. And if it's a 1, time reverses back to the first round. What the heck? We can have him about dead and he can reverse time all the way back to round 1 and start over. Since this is a corridor, Only Drist and Wolfgar gets to fight. Considering he's level 7, this really might not go well. He lets out the roar of a tiger and charges us. And Drist is going to start this thing off. I think Drist knows he's going to have to focus in, so he's just going to use one sword. He's going to use Icing Death, and he'll get +2 to the attack. Looking for a 5. It's going to be an automatic miss, Drist. Wolfgar's going to smash him with the maul. +3, so he needs a 4. Yes, he's going to get it. The Rakshasa starts a little incantation, and he's going to try to turn back time to take away this 1 damage. 1. Nope. Evens, he attacks Wolfgar. That's going to be Wolfgar. He tries to rake him twice across the chest, and then he reaches up to try to bite Wolfgar. The Rakshasa is a level 7. That means you need an 8 to defend. I think this guy's way above our level. We're supposed to be using an 8-sided dice in here, and we're low level, so I don't know what we got ourselves into with this. But hey, we're going to try it. If we have to, we'll run, just like old school D&D. He needs 6s. He fails the first one, fails the second one. Wolfgar takes 3 damage. Drist is going to try to slice it across the chest with Icing Death. +2, so he needs a 5. Yes, that's exploding. Okay. Even with the exploding, that was only 8 total, and he's a level 7, so that's going to do 1 damage. So I think for the first time, Wolfgar is going to rage. He gets to roll 3 dice, pick the highest one, and if he hits, it's double damage. All he needs is a 4 because he's got +3. Yes, I'm going to take that, so it's going to be exploding. Okay. Total of 10. Still only 1 damage, but I get to double it, so it's 2 damage. The Rakshasa has 2 hit points left. The Rakshasa takes a deep hit from the pipe that he's smoking and tries to turn back time. He doesn't. Evens, he goes after Wolfgar. That's Wolfgar again. The Rakshasa has these nasty, nasty claws, and he is trying to slice right through perhaps the leathers that Wolfgar is wearing. So it's claw, and then he's going to try to bite him. Wolfgar needs 6s. Misses the first one. Misses the second one. Gets the third one, all right. That's another 2 damage to Wolfgar. He is down to 4 hit points. Icing Death from Drist. Needs a 5. Nope. Wolfgar does an arcing smash with the maul. He needs a 4. He's going to get it for 1 damage. It would be absolutely horrible if he turned back time right now. Sweet, he doesn't. After Wolfgar, even. He does. Wolfgar needs 6s. Misses the first one. Misses the second one. Makes it. All right, so that's another 2 damage. He's down to 2 hit points. Wolfgar is bleeding out. The Rakshasa comes with almost like an uppercut, and it just slices Wolfgar from the belly almost up to the throat. Blood splatters back all over Brunor, and at that moment, Brunor grabs Wolfgar and pulls him back, and these two switch places. And Wolfgar just kind of drops to one knee back there, or just kind of is bowing out backwards. He's hurting bad. Now, guys, I checked the rule book on switching places in a corridor, and I can't find anything right now, so I'm just going to roll with it like this. If you do know any rules on switching places while you're in a corridor in a battle, let me know. But I don't believe that he would sit and fight all the way to the death, and then the next guy can set up. If that's the rules, that's not what we're doing. The Rakshasa has 1 hit point left, and Drist is going to try to misdirect him with Icing Death, and with his other hand, he's going to pull out Twinkle and try to stab him. 5. No, he's going to miss. I think the Rakshasa looks over at Drist, and almost with a nod of appreciation for that little bit of cheap shot trickery. I don't know why I didn't have Brunor buy a better axe. So he only gets to add his level, which is 2. So he needs a 5. Gets it. After Brunor pulls Wolfgar back, because if you know anything about these two, Brunor's basically like a father to him. Bruno charges forward and just buries the axe in the Rakshasa, and it drops to the ground. Everyone has sort of a sigh of relief. I think that this has been their toughest battle. So off the main path, we find a trail up ahead that leads off and into a little enclosed area where there's a little encampment. And this is where the Rakshasa was hanging out. And this tent is like really lavishly furnished. It's really nice inside, and there's all sort of exotic foods and things of that nature. And there's also a treasure chest in there with some of his goods. We get 3 woodland magic treasures plus 1 magic item of our choice from the magic item table in the core book. That is sweet. The first one, we get a 6. That should be good. Okay, I was looking at the wrong table here, the wrong treasure table. There's a magic treasure table as well, so I'm going to keep my roll of a 6 and see what that gives us. Okay, so it's a cloak of darkness. When this hood is pulled over the wearer's head, the wearer becomes invisible. Now that sounds really cool, but all light sources in the room or location, including my lantern, immediately shut into total darkness. It's like it sucks all the light out of the room. Only the wearer can see, which means, you know, he could do some really cool attacks and stuff. Everybody else, and the wearer gets a +3 defensive bonus. Everybody else has a -2 penalty to all rolls. So I'm gonna DM rule this, that if we're outside, then the party's visibility stuff doesn't get screwed up. Just the wearer becomes invisible because you're obviously not gonna suck the daylight out of the area. This will apply if we're in dungeons. And since I'm making that rule, then I will also give like a negative thing too, like old school D&D. And we'll make it that the user can only use this once per battle per day. Even as Drist? No, Artemis is gonna take it. Again, just to make this simple, once per day, become invisible, gives you a +3 bonus to your defense. And then I just put dungeon special rules, and I put what page in what book. All right, we're starting to get some goodies here. Let's see what the next one is. We get a 1. Dude. The girdle of sex change. Now in old D&D, this was a cursed item. I've had several characters get it. It tells a little story about it there. Aside from the obvious effect, which wears off after D6 games, the belt allows the wearer to cast Blessing once. That's what I need. I wish it was more than once though. It's only once? So it's once. It's a free blessing spell, but somebody's got to change sex in order to do it. That is so funny. Artemis already got something. Wolfgar refuses to take the belt. So it's between these two. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's going to be Brunor. If he turns into a woman, that is going to be hilarious. All right, now Driss will get this one, and then I get to pick from the book. I get to pick one, and we get a 5. Balm of Nicodemus. Basically, you can throw it at undead creatures that are immune to non-magical weapons. That's pretty cool. Works automatically. Oh, if thrown by a wizard or alchemist, it works automatically. If thrown by any other character, it has 2 in 6 chance of working. So then they can be hit by non-magical weapons. Pretty sweet. So I get to pick from this chart, and some of the stuff, like this staff has 2 charges, this potion of healing can drink once, blah, blah, blah. All this other stuff is like after 1 use, or 3 charges for the top one. But the magic weapon is a permanent magic item. So I think I'm gonna take a +1 item here. I gotta roll to see what it is. Get a 2. Okay, it's a slashing light weapon. Let's see who gets it. One of these 3. He's not taking it. It's magical. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's gonna be Drist. Nice. He's got a magic dagger that he's gonna stick down in his boot. While we're hanging around here and sort of eating some food out of the Rakshasa's stuff, Wolfgar is gonna use a bandage on himself to heal 1 hit point, and Drist is going to use his once per adventure foraging ability to go get some healing herbs. D6 hit points here to give out in hit points from healing herbs that Drist found. I need 6. Yes. With the bandage, Wolfgar is healed all the way back to full. Nice job, Drist. I think these guys are ready to head out. Let's see what the next area looks like. It's nice because we already have 1 to count toward the boss rolls, and Drist has a special ability which reduces by 1, so we should be able to find the cultist leader here pretty soon. Now we got a 46. Okay, so now we have an even tighter corridor. So we are on an even narrower path now, and everybody kind of lined up in single file formation here. We got Wolfgar at the lead, Drist, Brunor. Brunor puts himself between Artemis and Drist. All right, let's see what we get. Got a 9. Find a clue. Perhaps there's a pile of bones here that looks like some sort of sacrifice was done in this area, and it just leads us one step closer. The fantastic news is that's 3 clues for Brunor, and he gets to try to level up. And from this clue, we also learn a secret. Brunor is currently level 2, so he needs a 2 or higher. He doesn't level up from this. No. Just to play Brunor is a dwarf. I think that he's gonna take the someone will pay big money for that secret. And the next time I find a gem or jewelry or anything that has gold value, I can bring it back to town and sell it for 3 times its value. Plus, as a viewer pointed out to me that I didn't do last time, when I sell gems and stuff, I get an extra 20% thanks to that viewer. All right, let's head off to the next area. We got 45. Looks something like this. We basically come to a 4-way intersection. Let's see what's here. We get 3. I can't spend a clue. We're being hunted. So I can't spend a clue because I just used them to level up. Or we have to double the monsters in our next encounter with minions and vermin. Dang. All right, somebody's on our trail. Drist sort of stops everybody right here. Explains to them that he feels like they're being hunted. It's kind of risky in here. We're gonna search this entire area. You get a 1. Wandering monsters attack. So whatever was hunting us, as we're discussing what's going on here in the center, they find us. Get a 1. So it's vermin. We gotta double it. Again, these vermin will count toward my XP for killing minions, which is sweet. I've killed 4 sets of minions, and if we make it through this, that'll be 5. We're halfway to getting an XP. All right, let's see what's hunting us. We get a 5. So the cult has basically tainted and corrupted everything in this forest, so we're being hunted by shadow wolves. Holy crap. We had to double it, so there's 10 of them. I'm actually 1 short here, so I just have to remember that 1 counts as 2. I don't have any fire attacks either. Fire would kind of drive these guys back a little bit. We're gonna start with Wolfgar. He has 1 more rage today, but I think I'm gonna save that. He's just gonna start using them all. They're only level 3 creatures, so they're not that tough, but they are tainted with evil. Some of them have grown mutations or have been experimented on or something because they have 2 heads. They're level 3. Wolfgar has +3, so he needs anything but 1. That's exploding. That's nice. Let's do it again. That's exploding. That's nice. Keep going. He's just clubbing him with this thing. Okay, that is 13 total damage. Wolfgar just moves this way, just bashing and smashing these wolves into pulp. Their howls of pain echo through the forest. Just so you remember, I put Wolfgar into position number 1 last time, so he continues to stay in number 1. That's why I went with him first. Now we're gonna be over to Drist. Drist needs 2s, gets both of them for 2 damage. Drist is gonna kill this one and then run over here and stab that one. Brunor tries to bury the axe in the back of that one. He has +2, so he needs anything but 1. He's gonna kill that one. Artemis is using Sharon's Claw. Anything but 1. That's exploding. That's gonna kill both of them. As he's killing this one, he buries his other weapon into that one, slaying them both. Wow, that actually went pretty good. And we got the things that are following us off our trail. Maybe we set the ambush for them. They thought that they were hunting us, but actually we started hunting them. No treasure. Boo. Drist says, we best get moving. See what the next one looks like. We got a 25. We're headed up to this little bridge up here. That little part goes into the forest over there, and that goes that way, and Well, let's see what's here. Get 5. Bountiful game. Each character gains 1 life. If your group includes a wandering alchemist, you also find D3 common ingredients. That's pretty cool. So we all stop here and drink from this little river. It's crystal clear. And Drist heals up his last hit point. All right, let's see what's over the bridge. 44, curves around. Sort of curves around to the right. See what's here. We're gonna count that as an 11. Sweet, that's a boss. Roll on the boss table. But we've already encountered one, so we get to add. If I get a 6, we find the cult leader. Nope. All right, let's see, we got a 2. I just realized I forgot to do a morale check for the wolves when over half of them were killed, but I don't care. They're evil wolves. We gotta wipe them out. As we come to this area, there is a 10-foot tall, muscular, very handsome, blue-skinned genie. His clothes are made of silk, and the lower half of his body looks to be like a tornado. These guys typically are in servitude to a mortal, and perhaps the cult leader has entrapped him or enslaved him to guard this area. And that's where we're going to leave it off, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.